this class all over town. When people invite us to come talk, I always give them some options, and like everyone wants to know about this one, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know, everyone wants to know about this. So it's an outside-in approach because it doesn't matter if you have all of the right building blocks. If the system's blocked, it's not going to work right. So here's what I'm talking about, right? Deanna brought this up to my attention. We should talk about this tonight. So there's a hierarchy of vital needs that your body needs to survive. Okay? Tom, how long can we live without food?
Depending on who we are, about 2 to 3 weeks, I think.
And I would argue a lot longer. Months. Right? You guys know I did a water fast for 5 days. I feel like I could have gone for months. Like really, I've met people who've water fasted for over 120 days. So long time is basically what I want you to get, right? But we need food to live. Eventually, you're not going to make it. And what do we need more than food?
Water.
How long can we live without water?
3 days.
Couple days. You spent a lot of time in Africa, right? Not a lot of water there.
Turns out you really need water. You get real sick.
Couple of days. And what's more important than water, China?
Sleep.
I mean, yeah, you're right.
Hey, that's how your body helps make itself better.
Breathe.
Oxygen.
Yes.
Because how long can we live without oxygen?
A couple minutes.
A couple of minutes. See the hierarchy of needs. We can go from months to days to minutes. And at the very top of the hierarchy of vital needs is nerve supply. Because if we cut the nerve, or if we squeeze the nerve that goes to your heart, what's your heart going to do instantly? Stop. So this whole approach is, yes, it's good to have this stuff, and we need this stuff, but it's only good to have this stuff if your body's working the way that it's designed to first. Because you can take all the supplements in the world, and you can not get the results that you're looking for. So that... He has a nipple piercing,
I don't even know
too.
what to look or not look at.
As we know more things that can help us be healthy, I was just made this as a joke, because you can go a long time in the dark and not know. All right, so that's not what we want to be. So let's start here with fish oils. I have lots of slides, and we're not even going to go over half of them. Okay? Fish oil. So omega-3 fatty acids are an essential nutrient for every single cell in your body. The most important thing is that it's essential, which means it's 100% necessary. Like your body cannot live without this stuff. It's essential for all cells in your body. It's an essential nutrient for the building blocks. It helps with genetics, the reproduction, and the growth and the healing of all other cells in your body as well. So we could spend weeks and months and years researching what goes into fish oils. And at the end of the day, you have a couple of different things here, right? Omega-3s are what we're after, but we also need omega-4s and omega-6s. Did you guys know that?
I've heard of omega-6. I'm not familiar.
So omega-6s are inflammatory. They are part of an inflammatory reaction in the body. Omega-3s are anti-inflammatory. And when you're looking at, let me sneak through here. When you're looking at bang for your buck, and everyone's chasing these omega-3 fatty acids because they're an essential building block, but you need the right ratio of these things. So when I go back here, DHA and EPA, that's the stuff that you get from fish and wild game, which is why we use fish oil to supplement for omega-3. Remember, omega-3s are anti-inflammatory, and grains have higher amounts of omega-6 in them. So the standard American diet is not a healthy diet. Would you agree? Mm-hmm. Standard American diet is very, very toxic. It's higher in omega-6s than it is in omega-3s. So we have the ratio has been flip-flopped. Okay? So somewhere in here, I go over ratios right here, 3 to 2 of EPA to DHA. That's the ratio that we want. And what happens is that the more grains we eat, the more the ratio gets flopped, and we have more omega-6s than we have omega-3s. And now we have an inflammatory reaction going on in our body. So the ratio is the key. So when you buy a really good natural product, the ratio is already in place. Okay? You get a lot of really good benefits from omega-3s. Every single cell in your body, the membrane of the cell is made up of omega-3s. And do you guys know what organs in the body are mostly made up of fat?
Liver? No? Gallstones.
The brain.
Gallstone.
The brain.
Gallbladder.
The brain.
I'll quit guessing.
The brain is fat. Okay? So this is what sometimes we say is like brain food. It's healing for the outer cellular membrane of every cell in your body, and it's feeding the brain. Kind of important. So if you have a diet that's low in omega-3s, you're really lacking the ability for your brain to process and heal the way it's designed to. Okay? There's lots of amazing research using omega-3s for injury. There's amazing research using omega-3s for back pain, for headaches, for allergies, and my favorite one, because I just had this conversation today, concussions. So if someone has a concussion, we megadose this stuff highly to boost up the healing power of the brain. Got it? So unless you're eating fish and high amounts of omega-3, you have to supplement this stuff. Okay? You really have to supplement this stuff. So it's my favorite one right here. In the office, I always tell people if you don't want to buy it from me, these are my two favorite ones you get over the counter. Omega Sufficiency you order online. And Nordic Naturals is a good one to buy over the counter. Mostly because the fish that they're using come from really clean waters. Okay? The larger the fish, the more likely there's going to be heavy metals like mercury in it. Okay? So the best bang for your buck, or the best option when buying fish oil, is to buy smaller fish, like sardines, oil that's produced from small fish because they're lower in the food chain. Okay? Has anyone ever taken fish oils and burped? What happened?
It was nasty.
It was nasty.
Yeah.
Have you ever had that happen? Do you take fish oils?
I take flaxseed oil, but not fish oil.
Okay. I like fish oil better because you're getting more omega-3s from it. Okay. I don't like flaxseed oil because most Dr. Mercola did a study and he found that most flaxseed oil is rancid. Okay. If you take a fish oil supplement and you burp half hour later and it tastes like fish, you have a rancid fish oil supplement. And I can't think of a grosser thing to put into your body. All right. How do you if you really want to know what a rancid fish oil tablet is, buy a cheap brand from like Walgreens or the grocery store. They're all rancid. They're bad. They're actually doing more damage than good. And nobody wants to burp up fish, right? So a good fish oil supplement should have absolutely no flavor to it. If you ever go fishing and you pick up a fish and you smell your hands right away, they don't stink. But the longer you keep that slime on there, the more it starts to smell. You've been fishing, right, China? It's because the oil oxidizes and becomes rancid. Okay? So now when you know your friends are taking fish oils and they're burping up fish, you just tell them, hey, you have a really bad fish oil supplement and you need to find a new one.
Is that what rancid means? And it's actually
oxidizing.
Then?
Yep.
Okay, so it hasn't rotted. It just oxidized.
It started to rot. Yeah, it's oxidizing, and you don't want your supplements oxidizing. That's why it tastes so disgusting. I took bad fish oils for years. I tried all the tricks. I say, put them in the freezer and freeze them, and this. And you read all this stuff, and it was a long time. And they finally started learning more about fish oils, and there's bad fish oils. Okay, so a high quality fish oil, no taste to it at all. Cool. So that's my favorite one right there. Vitamin D. So do you guys know how your body where your body gets vitamin D from?
The sun.
The sun. And we all have the ability to produce vitamin D in our skin. Okay, we have these little itty bitty tiny cells and organs in our skin that when UV rays from our sun hit our skin, it actually starts to process and make vitamin D. It's like this innate, inborn intelligence that's within us. It's absolutely magic. And that's why we really can't survive in a cave for very long, because our vitamin D levels would get so low, our bodies would eventually develop something called rickets. You guys heard that? Have you heard of rickets? It's when the bones become brittle, because vitamin D is important in the formation of strong and healthy bones. Vitamin D is also an essential nutrient required for healing and prevention. Okay? So this healing definitely, prevention definitely. So I always tell people, when we get sick, what's that supplement that you can buy at the grocery store if you're flying on an airplane, or if you feel like you're getting airborne? It's really, really high in vitamin C, but it's not high in vitamin D, and they just started adding vitamin D to airborne, because this stuff we're finding is actually probably more valuable bang for your buck in terms of fighting off viruses and bacterial stuff. Okay? So when I feel like I'm starting to come down with something, I just mega dose on vitamin D. I'm not saying don't take vitamin C. I get adjusted, I mega dose on vitamin D, and I'm always taking my other supplements. Okay? So vitamin D is converted sunlight. Let me just pick out a couple different things here. It's genetically required in most reactions in the body to live. This stuff is so important. And here's where we get into a little bit of a challenge. So those are my tips for when you're starting to come down with sickness in the winter. This is the reason why people get sick. This is why flu season gets a season. Because as it gets colder outside, do we go outside more or less? Less. Our vitamin D levels go down. We enter the holidays. We eat junk food. We eat tons of sugar, drink tons of alcohol. We don't get adjusted. We have poor diet. We have inflammation in our system. And we're not getting this vitamin D to help with healing. And we get sick. Okay? That's why flu season gets its own season right there. But it has nothing to do with the virus. It has everything to do with this lifestyle. Everyone's getting tired.
So what does it mean if you're more likely to get sick in the summertime?
If you're more likely to get sick in the summertime, maybe you're not going outside enough in the summertime. Maybe you're not getting adjusted. Maybe your diet's really poor. Maybe you have a lot of inflammation in your system. Maybe your immune system is low and weakened, and we got to build it back up through all those different ways. You know what I mean? So this is really, really critical and important. Sunlight. So here's a really interesting fact, right? Dr. Mercola says it's the best bang for your buck in healthcare. I think the adjustment's the best bang for your buck in healthcare. And then maybe this. This may be a close second. Vitamin D. Make sure vitamin D levels are high. And the interesting thing about sunlight is when you hit a certain latitude and longitudinal markers on the globe, right, because the Earth tilts, certain parts of the year, even if we are outside, the angle of the rays of the sun don't even produce enough radiation to activate the parts of your skin to make sunlight. So even if you live in certain parts of the world and you're outside in the winter, you still might not even be getting it. Okay? I'm going to skip through some of this. There is vitamin D in food. Did you guys know that? But the vitamin D in food needs to be converted. And it goes through this process through digestion and different organs in your body convert it. Okay? So if you're going to supplement with it, I always say supplement with the converted form. Because a lot of people go to the grocery store and they take vitamin D, or they're taking a multivitamin and it's not in the converted form. So it actually is harder for your body to convert it, and you're really not getting the benefit of it. Okay? Okay, really quickly. When people take a cholesterol-lowering medication like a statin, you guys know that it lowers fat and cholesterol in the system. You guys know that? And what's the organ that's made up of fat in the body?
Brain.
The brain. So what do you think that those drugs do to the brain?
Slows your brain down.
Big time. Big time. Okay? So be really, that's like $1 million lesson that you all learn just by being here. People who are on statins, it's actually attacking the cholesterol centers of the body and breaking down parts of the body that are made up of fat. It's a bad thing, especially if you have something like Alzheimer's or dementia. Okay?
Can it contribute?
I think it's important to bring that up. Absolutely.
Like if someone maybe like it could make them like not remember things as well.
Absolutely. People who are on statin drugs for a long period of time, there's a higher association with Alzheimer's and dementia. Absolutely. 100%. The things, my other class, what your doctors know but don't tell you, that's one of the topics we talk about. Okay? So vitamin D. I like the liquid form. Okay? This is a 60-month supply right here in this bottle. And you want it to include vitamin K. Vitamin K helps with absorption. So buy the converted form and add vitamin K to it and you get the absorption. I just told someone who was they were getting adjusted. They were just sick for like 3 weeks. I put them on this last week and they're like, gosh, I feel like I'm like actually starting to like turn the corner. You know who that was,
Yep,
right?
I know who that was. We
Yeah.
saw them today.
Okay. Lots of stuff that you read and lots of doctors will tell you to take, it'll say 100% of your daily value of vitamin D, and it'll be like 2,000 to 3,000 IUs, which is the international unit. I tell people, you got to take 5,000. I think they're way under. All the research I read says 5. So if you're taking vitamin D, go home and look and make sure you're getting around 5, especially in the wintertime. You got to get into the 5,000s before you start really getting the bang. Okay? Every single day I take vitamin D. Every single day. Well, not in the summertime, if I'm out in the summer. But right now, every single day I wake up, I take it right away. Okay? Vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin, which means you have to have food in your system, fat in your system to absorb it. Think about someone who's done a cholesterol-lowering medication. Their absorption for vitamin D is going to even go lower.
Liquid, you still have to have food.
Some of these new liquids are adding different types of fat into the product itself, but a lot of them don't. Okay, so I always tell people this one you take with your food, just before your food. Something that has fat, or if you're not eating, a little scoop of peanut butter, vitamin D. Right? Yeah. This cod liver oil right here actually has vitamin D in it because the liver of the fish contains high amounts of vitamin D. So this one you get your omega-3 and you get a small amount of vitamin D.
Can you take those two together? Is that enough fat?
Yeah. Take your fish oil with your vitamin D, you're getting fat. It'll go in right. So this needs fat to be absorbed.
Okay.
Right? So yeah, you take them together. Cool. This is a really cool study. 85% of chronic musculoskeletal pain, they treated people who had pain with vitamin D, and cool results. Okay. So if you're going to buy over the counter, I like this one again, Innate Choice. You can order on the internet. You can buy this on the internet, Dr. Mercola's vitamin D. Look, he gives you 1,000 international units per spray. So you go spray it a couple times in your mouth. This one, you fill the dropper all the way to the top and take it. Okay? There it is. See, this one has vitamin K in it and vitamin A. Helps with absorption, both of them. So I tell people, make sure you're taking it with vitamin. Make sure you buy the one that has the A and the K in it, especially the K. Probiotics. So, bacteria outnumber cells in your body 10 to 1. You have 10 times more bacteria living inside of you than cells. Is that crazy? So we actually are more bacteria than we are human. It's absolutely true. There's more bacteria in and on you than there are cells that make you up. Isn't that crazy? And we absolutely 100% rely upon these things for life. If your bacteria count gets screwed up and you get too many bad guys and not enough good guys, kill you. If your digestive system, you get too many bad guys and not enough good guys, it can kill you. So, if you really want to know something kind of wild, let's skip through some of this stuff. So, this is the importance of having a vaginal birth. as opposed to a cesarean section. As the baby goes through the birthing canal, it's getting bacteria from the birthing canal in the mouth. And that is the first meal that the baby gets. Okay? And there's some really amazing research out right now that links lots of chronic diseases in life to cesarean. And the main reason is because those babies do not have the same bacterial makeup as a baby that was born vaginally. The world of probiotics and bacteria, we're just scratching the surface, like just getting there. Okay? So 30% of births are now planned cesarean. 30% of births are now planned. So the conversation goes like this, here's your due date, and I know this because, right, my wife just had a baby. Here's your due date, and we get antsy, and we plan our births now, and you say, well, if the baby's not come by this time, we'll just get you in and we'll just take care of it for you. But the baby misses out on the most important meal of its life. 100% fact. We know this to be true. And the other really cool thing is you're not supposed to be born in a sterile environment, right? And when you do a cesarean, you're born into a sterile environment, so you don't get the buildup of good bacteria. Breastfeeding, right? We could talk about this a long time, but the breastfeeding is really important. And store-bought formulas, they're actually, they know they're adding probiotics to store-bought formulas because they know the importance of this finally. One of the gross things about a vaginal birth is the baby's actually getting some like fecal particles in the mouth, and that is really kind of key to building that lining of the gut. It's crazy, isn't it? All right. So here's the problems with probiotics is that if you've ever been exposed to antibiotics, it pretty much virtually wipes you clean. So even if you've done everything right, you're born vaginally, you're breastfed, you developed a good bacterial lining in your body. There's billions of bacteria that cover our skin. People who have skin conditions, their bacterial count's off on their skin. We now know using certain bacteria on the skin topically can heal this stuff. All right, tons and tons, trillions of bacteria on our skin. We know that these colonies inside of our stomach, they age, they get old, they die, and when they die, if there's enough good ones there, that the new ones will come, and if there's not enough good ones there, the old ones will outnumber the good ones. All right? Things like medications kill the good bacteria in the stomach. Think about water for a second. What do we put into our drinking water? Chlorine. What's chlorine do?
Purify.
Kills bacteria.
Yeah.
And we drink it. So really it's killing the bacteria in our system. And remember, there's more good ones than bad ones on us. So drinking chlorinated water kills the bacteria and creates problems. That was really mind-blowing for me when I really kind of came to understand that. So filter your water. It's really important. The city of Bend uses a very small amount, but they still do. Mm-hmm. A little bit of chlorine is a little bit over 30 years is going to kill a lot of good bacteria. Okay, we have antibiotics that's put in our meat, in our food supply, in our system. Even things like stress and some of these herbs that we think are good for us, like golden seal and colloidal silver, they kill bacteria. Okay, and people stay on these things. Remember we had this conversation about golden seal? And there was another herb that we were talking about, and I said echinacea.
That's right.
I said just really be careful. You want to take that long term. You use these things in a crutch to get through something, but you don't want to be taking this stuff every single day. And the truth of the matter is if you've had one round of antibiotics in your life, it can be enough to completely wipe out your GI tract, which is why there's just so much amazing research out right now. And it just baffles me that people still use them as much as they do. Okay? You guys seem like you need to be grossed out. No?
Wow, he starts out with a picture of the dude.
I'll gross you out. I'll gross you out right now and tell you something to wake you up, and then we'll wrap it up. So there's some therapy that's being done right now. Okay? It's called a fecal implant. Can you explain to me why that would be so beneficial for us?
I don't remember the ins and outs of it, but yeah, it was to promote gut health.
You got it. Okay, so here, picture this. I take pride in my bacteria. And I poop a turd out, and it's full of billions and billions of bacteria. Okay? And I take pride that my bacteria is just top notch. My poop's worth money.
Truth be told.
And someone who has like colon cancer or very irritable bowel or digestive disorders or dysfunction who has low bacterial count, they'll take someone else's poop and they'll implant it into your intestines so that my happy, good bacterial and healthy poop can reseed and build up a good environment for your body. And you wouldn't believe what this is doing for people. It's changing their life. It's reseeding their digestive system with healthy bacteria.
Okay,
I can. Don't you just have the station up here?
Yogurt
How do you
sounds a
know
lot
if your
better.
poop is healthy then, Doc?
What's that?
How do you know if your poop is healthy?
You test it.
Oh.
Yeah. We test your poop. You poop in a little cup and we send it in. And they'll tell you how your poop looks. You could do this.
Well, no,
It's very affordable.
I'm just wondering, I mean, how is the average person just going to know without?
We could do a test. We could all poop in a cup, and we could poop in a cup. If you're listening and you want to poop in a cup, we'll send it and get it lab tested for you. And we can, yeah, that's a fun quarterly training topic. We'll poop in a cup and you can get tested. And you know what the cool thing is that if you're up for it, I think it's probably a good idea. You can really learn a lot, and they know a lot now about what's supposed to be in your poo. And if you're missing stuff, you can prevent diseases from happening in the future. Pretty gross, huh?
Yeah, fascinating.
Your bacteria are responsible for 60 to 70% of your immune system. Fact. Okay? Health begins in the gut. All right? A lot of people know that. That's why all these people are starting to treat gut health. Okay? I'm going to skip through all of that. Has anyone never taken a probiotic before? Because if you haven't, there's something important that I'd like to just say.
I've eaten Activia,
Good.
but haven't taken a probiotic.
Good. If you're going to take a probiotic for the first time, you have to start slowly. Because what's happening right now is your body gets comfortable with where it's at. Okay? And it might not be good. And you can only fit so much bacteria in your system. And there has to be a relationship going on in there. Certain amount of good guys, and there's always a certain amount of what we call bad guys. Okay? And when you take a probiotic like this that has 100 billion live good guys, guess what the bad guys are going to do? You get mad. There's going to be a little miniature war that goes on inside your stomach and your digestive system, and these guys are going to eventually outnumber the bad guys, but there's going to be a little bit of battle. Okay? And we call that a die-off rate. So the die-off rate can happen until you reseed the system. All right? I've seen people that go, I'll never take a probiotic, doc. So-and-so told me I need to take a probiotic. It hurt my stomach. It gave me diarrhea. That stuff's bad for me. I say, well, no. You'd had a die-off. And they're like, what's a die-off? I said, you started too fast too soon. And you're repopulating the good guys with the bad guys, and the body evacuated all that. And it shoots it out of you. I mean, really, if you don't do this the right way, you get diarrhea, you get bloating, you get gas. Just got to ease into the process. Make sense? Cool. And we keep them in the refrigerator because things live longer in the refrigerator. So we keep them in the refrigerator. Okay? Yogurt. Yogurt's good. But I'll tell you right now, bang for your buck, buy the right stuff. It's true. Yogurt's good, but bang for your buck, buy the right stuff. People ask me about kombucha all the time, and I'm like, look, it costs like $3.50 for a kombucha. Don't drink the kombucha just for the probiotic. Okay? Drink it because it has it, but if you're really bang for your buck, you could spend 30 cents a day on some really good, or 50 cents a day on some really good probiotics. Okay? Same thing with yogurt. I love yogurt, but the problem with yogurt is they put a ton of sugar in it. So go to the grocery store and buy something that has really low, under 2 grams of sugar per serving. It's hard to find.
I was going to say, does it exist?
Yes, just not at the certain grocery stores.
Trader Joe's, Whole Foods.
Whole Foods, Natural Grocer, Market of Choice.
Okay.
Okay. If you're eating yogurt, eat yogurt, but don't eat it as your primary source. Fair? These are my over-the-counter brands. Raw. You guys maybe have heard of that. Dr. Mercola, Ultimate Flora. Look, if you've never done probiotics before, you're not going to start with 200 billion. Because you're going to be up all night rolling around in bed, tossing and turning, and full like a blueberry. Because you're going to have a huge die-off rate. Make sense? And there's my favorite one, right here. Look how many strains are in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 strains. That's the golden ticket right there. So I like these ones because he's got 10. They have 8, I think. These ones have 10. 10, that's the number when you're going to take probiotics. You guys can ask me all these questions. Okay? Multivitamins, really quickly. Why might we need to take multivitamins? Because we eat like crap.
Yeah, it's not.
And if we don't eat like crap and we eat really, really clean, our food isn't sometimes always what we think it is. I always say, call me crazy, but I think we should get most of our vitamins and minerals from our food. Okay? And I think that if we've lived a really healthy, clean life and haven't been on antibiotics, we could get most of our probiotics from our yogurts and our kombuchas and our sauerkraut and kimchi and fermented food, but we don't eat like that anymore. So that's why we supplement with it. So call me crazy, but you should get most of it from your food, but I know that we just don't necessarily get it all from our food. So here's the multivitamin that we take. You guys are all familiar, my team, you guys are familiar with this, called Catalin. It's a whole food supplement. So everything in there comes from food, so your body knows how to digest it. When buying multivitamins, the one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to buy something that has fillers or these synthetic supplements in it. So lots of them do. If you go to the grocery store and buy something from Walmart or Walgreens, there's going to be tons of binders and fillers in there and artificial supplementation, synthetics. It just doesn't make sense.
Talk about that for just a second, the synthetics as opposed to the natural.
Yeah, so these companies that make supplements, not the top tier ones, they add synthetic supplements. So what they do is they make these supplements in a lab. It's close, but it's not the same. It's not what's found in nature. And the reason they do that is because when they talk vitamin C or something, when they make a vitamin C tablet, there's going to be a period of time from when they make it to when the consumer consumes it. Would you agree? Mm-hmm. And sometimes that could be, if you buy some of this lower end stuff, that could be a year. I mean, who knows? And the way that they keep it stabilized is they use a synthetic. It increases shelf life. And they can pack an astronomical amount of, say, vitamin C into a tiny little tablet, where in nature you could never do that. So you take like this, some of the like Airborne. You're like, how could there be that much in there? 5,000 your daily limit of so and so. It's because they use synthetics. Because you just can't do it. When you look at this stuff, I tell people, some people, you got to take 6 of these a day. And they're like, well, I just take the 1 a day. You take 6 of these? I'm like, yeah, because this is food. Your body knows what this is. It's not made in a lab. It's food. Does that make sense? It was mostly to stabilize. Okay? The really, really good supplement companies use nitrogen to package. Because remember, if there's oxygen, it's going to start breaking stuff down. So these companies up here package in a nitrogen chamber so that when you open that seal for the first time, those vitamins have never seen oxygen before. Right? I also tell people don't buy more supplements and vitamins than you can take in a 1 to 2 month period. If you have stuff that's been in your cupboard for a long time, stuff has a shelf life. It's being oxidized. Okay? So I always tell people, buy 1 month's supply at a time, use it, buy another one. Okay? Here's the over-the-counter vitamin code. You can buy that at Whole Foods, Natural Grocer, maybe even some other places. I like it because it's Whole Foods based, and they actually put a little bit of probiotics in there too. Okay? Vitamins are like anything else in this world. If they're cheap, they're probably not what you want. Okay? I think realistically, I kind of crunched some numbers. You could take all 4 of these products for around $100 a month. So it's an investment. It's definitely an investment to take the right stuff, but just know you're getting what you pay for. And all of those reasons that I just reviewed with you should steer you towards taking the good products. Okay? Anyone want to ask me anything? You guys can ask me something anytime you want.